Hi, this is TJR, and sorry I'm a little bit late on this, but this is my basically my recap on the 2017 Grammy Awards. I watch it every year, and I look forward to the Grammys. I don't care too much about who wins what, to be honest, unless it's someone I really, really care about. But by and large, I really don't care who wins what. I long ago stopped caring about that. I'm mainly interested in the musical performances, first and foremost, because at the Grammys, you do get to see one of a kind, team ups that you just don't see anywhere else. And that's what I appreciate the most about it. And so I'm going to talk about musical performances, going to talk about non-musical moments as well that I thought were of note, and a few complaints. So what would a video about the Grammys be without a few complaints? But at any rate, though, so first of all, best performances. The ones that really stick out for me the most, first of all, Tribe Called Quest, awesome performance. Really loved Alicia Keys and Maren Morris, their duet of the song Once. Loved that too. And then, of course, there was the Metallica and Lady Gaga collaboration. So, first of all, I wish that James Hetfield's mic could have been turned on, plugged in, so to speak, so we could hear him for the first couple verses. But, in spite of a really poor mix, they just rocked out. They just plowed through it like troopers. Metallica still plays like they are in their 20s. I'm very impressed by that. But I have to ask, what the hell happened to the mix? The microphone problems notwithstanding, what the hell was going on with the mix? You were hearing mainly, there were moments where you heard, bass and drums predominantly. The guitars were way too low before they were brought up to a proper level where they should have been. Eventually, you could hear James Hetfield singing. He went back to the mic. It was back on. I heard later that I guess it was unplugged. What was going on with that? Why were Metallica so screwed over on the mix when pretty much everybody else got a great mix? Everybody was, well mixed. What happened with Metallica and Lady Gaga? I think it's a shame, but they still played great. And and Lady Gaga sounded great with them, I thought, too. I had no doubt that she'd be able to, hold her own with them. I mean, after all, this woman can sing Julie Andrews, for crying out loud. I knew she'd do a good job, and she did. And in fact, as it turns out, I've read afterwards the fact that apparently both the band and Gaga were so pleased with how it worked out with them. In technical difficulties notwithstanding, they were both so pleased with how that all went, just the collaboration, that they both felt that this shouldn't be a one-off thing. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some future collaboration, either live or in the recording studio. And on that, I'm certainly going to be curious to check that out. I was also very glad to see blues music get some representation by Gary Clark Jr. and William Bell. It's good to hear some blues on the show. I kind of wish it could have been an original song from either one of their catalogs, but still was glad it was there. I don't feel that blues gets enough representation during the Grammys or from the general public at large. And I guess I should not say the general public at large. I think I should say just the mainstream music machine. I don't think it gets enough representation. But that's another topic for another day. The Prince tribute I thought was extremely well done. I feel like the Time did a great job. They didn't miss a beat. I didn't know that Bruno Mars could play guitar, and I thought he did a very good job. When he got to the solo, I wondered, is he going to do the insane Prince solo? Is he really going to do that? He did do a solo at the end. Was he playing at the level of insanity of Prince? I think he'd be the first one to say no, but I thought he did a good job with it. I don't think I could play at the level of insanity that Prince does on that song, to be honest. I think only Prince can play at that level of insanity. That's why he was Prince. But mostly, I want one of those guitars that Bruno Mars had. I want one of those damn guitars. I think they're just awesome. And I'll bet they play amazingly well. But at any rate, though, I can dream for one of those guitars, certainly. So, next category, speeches and non-musical moments. First of all, I'm really glad that Dwight Yoakam gave a nod to Sharon Jones. She was mentioned in the, in memory, compilation. I'm glad that was there, but I'm glad that he personally talked about her and mentioned her. And I like the way that he talked about her. And I'm still getting over the loss of Sharon Jones. I just still can't believe it's happened. It's just still been a very difficult musical loss for me personally. So I'm really glad he brought her up. I really appreciated the speech from 21 Pilots. I also really liked the remark made by Chance the Rapper, stating that being independent as an artist doesn't mean being alone. It means freedom. I appreciated that. When the independent artist movement first started to happen, there was a lot of Kool-Aid being sold that, you could do this all alone. You don't need a label. You don't need all this other stuff. And it turned out that's not true. You do need a label. You can be independent and still have a label. You do need a label. You do need a staff. You do need people to help work the publicity and the tour promotions and all that stuff. You do need people, but you can still be independent with all that. You can still be the one making the decisions and not have a machine making the decisions for you. Rather, you make the decisions for the machine. So I think that's a very important distinction. Glad he mentioned that. Now, of course, Adele stopped during the George Michael performance because she couldn't hear herself. And she made a decision. I'm glad she made the decision. She obviously needed to make that decision. You only get one chance to do a tribute for George Michael during the Grammys. You only get one shot at it, so don't blow it. And she decided, let's just stop. Let's just start over. I'm glad she did it because it certainly made a difference. Whatever needed to be fixed got fixed. And obviously, you could tell when she could hear herself versus when she couldn't. And if you don't know anything about professional live performance, if you can't hear yourself sing, you can't sing on key. And so, you have to be able to hear yourself. At any rate, though, so yeah, I don't blame her. I'm glad she did it. Metallica soldiered on. They didn't stop. That neither decision is right or wrong. Metallica just soldiered on and just did it. Once again, neither decision is right or wrong. Each artist did what they felt was the best decision, and it worked for both of them. And also one other thing, speaking of Adele, so she wins Song of the Year, and she brings her co-songwriter, Greg Kurstin, up on stage with her. They're both going to speak. She speaks first, and then he begins to speak, and he gets cut off in the worst possible way. Not just the low-key music saying, hey, you need to cut this short. He gets completely cut off by music with vocals. The camera switches over to someone else introducing the next act. That was completely uncool, and of the Grammys to do that. I'm glad that the audience started booing. You could hear them booing in the background as they switched over. I'm really glad the audience booed for that. So when Adele comes back on for Record of the Year or Song of the Year, she has Greg Kurstin speak first and chastises the show for cutting him off. I'm glad she did that too. I really appreciate that. So at any rate, now, next thing I would just talk about is just gripes, complaints. The Lifetime Achievement Award winners, I felt they were just too thrown out there. They mentioned them, but they gave us almost no information about who these people were and why. A groundbreaking rock group, Velvet Underground. Why? Why were they groundbreaking? I mean, sure, someone in my age range would understand that, but the younger audience isn't going to know. Who's the Velvet Underground? What is it about them that's so groundbreaking? Give a little bit of time to this. Say a little something more than that. And I think this is true for all the Lifetime Achievement Award winners. I think they deserve a little more. Also, similarly, when Ryan Seacrest introduced, the Music Educator Award recipient Keith Hancock, I'm very glad that he was given a moment to stand up and be applauded. I appreciate that. But a minute or so to explain a little bit more about what he does and why he's received this award, why he, out of all other educators, that maybe were considered, received this award. I think it's important. I think it's especially important for the youth to know why this is important. I realize you need the star power to get the audience. So I realize you've got to give a lot of attention to the stars. I get that. But you can afford to give a minute or so to the Lifetime Achievement Award winners, to the Music Educator Award recipient, to just give us a little more information about them. I don't think it's going to stop the show dead. I think you can even play it up and make it even an emotional thing. Yeah, I'm not expecting, a VH1 behind the music documentary, but I think you can spare a minute or so without losing too much of the rest of the show. So, anyways, those are my gripes. There's one other thing that I want to talk about here that I don't think I've ever experienced before when watching the Grammys. As I'm watching a lot of these nominees, get their names mentioned for these awards, I kept finding myself more than ever asking, who the hell are these people? I have to admit, a lot of these people's names, I was like, I've never heard of them, never heard what they do. Who are they? And I thought, am I really getting that old? Am I getting that out of touch with popular culture that I just don't know a lot of these people? Or has the music just simply not inspired me? I'm constantly listening to new things. I'm always, every single week, just thumbing through the new releases on Spotify and Tidal and just randomly playing whoever's, out there just to get an idea, see what might, really get me excited. And a lot of this stuff, I just like, I've never heard of these people. And the clips I heard a lot of them weren't really doing a whole lot for me. These are just short clips. I shouldn't judge it on that, but what I was hearing wasn't really doing a whole lot for me. At any rate, though, I don't know. Either the music's just not inspiring me or I'm just getting out of touch. I don't know. At any rate, though, I'm going to have to ponder that on my own, I think. So there you go. Did you see the awards and what did you think? Did you have some favorite moments? Did you have some complaints? Be curious to know your thoughts. But once again, overall I enjoyed watching this year's Grammys. I always enjoy watching it. I always enjoy checking out the live performances. I think that's really what it's all about. And at any rate, love to hear what you think. Once again, sorry for being over a week late with this. And it was just a lot going on. It took a while to be able to watch it all. And thank goodness for DVRs. And thanks for watching. And looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Bye-bye. 3, 2, 1. Hey, this is TJR. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, this is TJR. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.